too much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a like, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I am Aaron.
I'm Dave.
That's right. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, just take things in stride.
Yep.
Tomorrow's gonna come.
That's right.
And if it doesn't, fucking, well, you're gonna spend it being a sourpuss today. Fucking put a smile on and get till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handle the things you can at the time that you can.
That's
Otherwise, just why even worry about it? Handle it tomorrow.
That's it.
You know what I mean? It's hard
Yeah.
sometimes, but like, just say that over and over.
And you know what I had to take care of the real thing, right? Do we understand that most things in life is a reciprocation? It takes two, right? Or else you're just talking to yourself out loud.
Yeah.
And that is, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay? You say something.
Yeah.
Wait. Then they say something. You ingest 2 ears, 1 mouth. Take in 2. I'll put 1. And I just, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. I've just gone through this today.
Yeah.
And when I specifically said this verbatim to the person that I was speaking to, they literally looked at me sideways and they went, you know what? I've never put it in that context in my life. We literally have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
We should take in twice as much as we put out.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah. And the only thing is, too, if you're too busy putting out, you're not busy enough listening, so you never hear what the person across from you is asking for or needs or wants. And
Right.
make it a reciprocation thing. Don't do it so internally and by yourself. And they literally were like, man, thanks for the advice. Honestly. All right, good. Here's the only thing. I love you. And I'm, golly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we things are good. Things are good. Cannabis is being sold every day.
Yep.
Actually, cannabis is getting sold like the rest of everything else in the world is getting sold
Yeah.
right now with a little bit extra emphasis,
Yeah. It is an exciting time right now. It's an exciting time, I think, for cannabis. I think a lot of the things that we anticipated were going to happened. It's getting towards the end of the year here. I don't mean in like elections. I mean like as far as the Schedule 3 hearings we've talked about, nothing's probably going to get done this year. Same with the hemp and the cannabis bills earlier this year. Although I have talked to people and they tend to think something's going to happen for hemp in the veto session, and then probably they'll address cannabis next year.
something
Seems
positive
likely.
or something negative for hemp, do you think? Do they think?
Like, I think something's going to get done.
But here's my thing. It doesn't go away.
It depends on who you talk to.
Well, so they're going to make a classification in Illinois
Yeah.
that classifies hemp as something different than the fucking Fed's going to do? Because I don't think that's going to happen. So I think you still stick with these same regulations of point something O THC. And then...
Well, there's news about that later, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear it. Because
We're going
I
to break
think-
down. There's 2 hemp bills that are now up, or put forth. So we'll see which one gets passed, maybe.
Yeah.
They're vastly different
Oh.
in some ways.
I can't wait.
It's really cool.
I just, more than anything,
Yeah.
the progression of cannabis. I saw some people in cannabis, a very big name, starting to make hemp derived cannabis products.
Sure.
that they intend to sell in dispensaries. And I went, holy fuck. They're some geniuses. They're trying to, if they said, listen, if we can't beat them, join them.
That's right.
And they said, you know what?
It's easier to
Instead
do this.
of seeing these little small mom and pie, and this is why, man, this is the sketchy shit about it, right? Instead of seeing the small mom and pie shit, where everybody said, I had somebody the other day say, have you ever smoked anything out of a gas station or from like any of these pot Well, I said, I worked for, do you understand what I'm telling you? I
Yeah.
worked with them directly. I've had product. Oh, really? Oh, so you've smoked that shit? I'm like, yeah, and so would you, man.
Yeah.
Stop pretending that this is something different.
I know.
And the only way that it's going to get normalized is if the people who pretend that they're the normies start
Yeah.
to normalize it.
There's a
There's
lot
this-
of that right now. There's a lot of I'm holier than thou. I know better than you. My stuff is the cleanest. Your stuff is not the way. I use the newest technology. We use the patella technology instead of the full melt
Bro,
technology.
and it's like what do you now, what are you classifying hemp as, and what is the, because, and this is, I went into the back the other day in the dispensary, and I went through the different stuff, and I said, look at all this shit,
Yeah.
find the stuff that's breaking. And then I went, wait a minute, they are starting to fucking
Yeah.
classify a little
Yeah.
bit higher THC percentages on some of this flower.
56%.
No, just more like 0.035, 0.051.
Yeah.
And I was like, why in the fuck are they doing this? And then I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So no matter what, right? Laboratories can be laboratories
Sure.
with integrity if they want to be,
Yep.
or they don't have to be, right? Because there is industry standards
Yep.
which allow them to sway, which allow them to manipulate.
Sure.
If you ask some people around, right? So
Yeah.
what you believe from them is whatever. But if we start to normalize the speech of what is what, right? Then it allows even the big players, like I'm saying, to take over, right?
Yeah.
Because they can say, well, look at our cannabis product in the back says 0.03, 0.05. This
Yeah.
is the stuff that's actually weed.
Yeah.
And then it takes people away from buying shit in the gas station. Because now the people in the gas station go 0.01, below 0.01, below 0.03. That's just gas station shit. Now it's worse than whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then I went, wait a minute. I see that. Everybody was there for a minute. We all started pulling different flowers out, looking at the different percentages, and it depends on who you're talking to, what lab you're going to, because some of it says 0.01 or less. Some of it says 0.5, 0.3, and I tried to sit on it, why the fuck you would do it, and that's got to be it. It's got to be this normalization that our shit, like you just said, holier than thou.
Yep.
We've got the real shit in here. You wouldn't want to spend your money out there. But now the
Right.
fucked up part is they're trying to represent the stuff out there too. I'm
Yep.
literally, I took a fucking class the other day about how their stuff is so good and it's clean because it comes from clean hemp and it stays below 0.3%. I was like, oh, 0.03. I'm like, holy shit. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're just making cannabis product that eventually you want to sell in.
Cannabis dispensary.
Well, no, it's you want to. You're making hemp product that you want to sell in the hemp space, and because you have a far more recognizable name, you're going to win over the ma and pa shops, and
Yeah.
it sucks. It's for a lot of the people that listen. I think we got some hemp buddies and some
We
friends
do.
who listen and shit.
We love our hemp
Oh,
friends.
I fucking love them. Because
Shout out River West Collective. I'm going up for a seed swap here November 16th in Gurney.
yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin Craft Growers Association. Yeah.
Shout out our friend Mr. CBD,
Yeah,
you know?
I
But
saw
that's like
him
the
last
thing
week.
is, at this point though, and this is what I hope for all of them people, right?
Yep.
Mr. CBD has done a very good job. Mark, everybody who knows him and anybody who doesn't, he's done a great job of just being fucking true from day one. He's a go-getter. He slams the fucking pavement. He's always out there for people. He's a badass and he embodies that. So his brand, his little logo, his name is everything.
Look for his
Transcends
products.
him.
Look for his products soon, possibly in the Illinois market.
That's what and that's what I'm saying.
Because somebody's already approached him, a major manufacturer.
He's done a really
Yeah.
good job of branding his products.
Yep.
He's made some quality products
Yep.
along the way. He's represented the right groups. He's been in the right spaces, and he should survive through this entire thing. Not only should he survive, I hope that he thrives because he's done so much for this space, that space, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for everybody. But just also, watch out, guys. Be
Yeah.
ready. Know what's
Be
coming.
ready.
Be ready. We'll prep you up. He said
Yeah.
he's got some good shit for him.
We do got some good stuff today. You want to do plugs
Plug
real
it
quick?
up.
If you grow, you know. Having the right gear for your home garden makes all the difference. That's why you need to get on board with Crop Culture's quarterly home grower boxes.
Crop Culture releases insane value boxes every 3 months packed with premium seeds, growing equipment, and unique extras tailored for those who want to plant with a purpose.
But that's not all. Coming soon, they're launching monthly crop drops, where you can snag a pack or two of Fire Genetics along with must-have gardening accessories like AC Infinity's legendary trimming scissors.
We're talking stickers, mystery goodies, and deeply discounted bundles you won't find anywhere else. Just an easy one-time purchase with no commitment.
Their current quarterly box is an absolute steal, featuring top-shelf genetics, a pH meter or smell-proof bag, monitoring tools, fermented plant probiotics, and more.
And for our listeners, use the code 2DOPEDUDES for $10 off any purchase of $100 or more at CropCulture.net.
So whether you want the full quarterly experience or just need a regular re-up, Crop Culture's got you covered.
Level up your garden and score some gear that'll have your plants standing tall. If you grow, you know you need to check them out at CropCulture.net before sold-out regret sets in. Let them help you plant with a purpose. Hey, Canna Curious connoisseurs, are you looking to elevate your wellness routine? Take it up a notch with Mr. CBD Chicago.
That's right, dude. They've got everything you need from their brand new El Jefe line, with CBD and THC sprays for a discreet and convenient dose, to their legendary Moonrock matte bottle rockets and the always satisfying Spliff Society pre-rolls.
And listen up, 2Dope Dude listeners. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES at checkout for 10% off your entire order at MrCBDChicago.com. That's right, 10% off.
So ditch the stress and embrace the good vibes with Mr. CBD Chicago. Head over to their website today. Just remember, use the code 2DOPEDUDES for that sweet discount. You're not going to regret it. Hey there, fellow plant enthusiasts. Tired of using chemical fertilizers that harm your soil and the environment?
We feel you. That's why we want to introduce you to Green Grow Biological.
Green Grow offers organic soil amendments packed with beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizae fungi like their popular Pride Bloom fertilizer and flower finisher.
These little powerhouses work together to improve your soil health, helping your plants grow strong and healthy naturally. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, Green Grow has something for you.
And because Green Grow is committed to sustainable practices, you can feel good about what you're putting into your home and garden.
Head over to thegreengrow.com to learn more about their amazing products and how they can help you take your gardening to the next level.
And listen up, because here's a special offer just for our listeners. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES for 10% off your entire order at thegreengrow.com.
That's 2DOPEDUDES for 10% off at greengrow.com. Happy planting!
You can find us, the Elevated News Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming and podcast apps at 2DOPEDUDES YouTube channel. Please give us a like, leave a review, leave a comment, tell a friend. We appreciate you. You can find us on supportdopepeople.com, t-shirts, hoodies, along with links to our other pods and free stickers just by providing your email and address. And email us at 2dopedudespodcast@gmail.com for any questions or things you want us to talk about. Dave.
Hey, what are you doing out there on Thursday night?
I know where I'll be.
What? You know what? He's not lying. No, I appreciate everybody. There's been a lot of good support around this thing lately, but it's just a space to get direct access to me,
Mhm.
right? And I'm not trying to think that I just understand cannabis on a level that allows you to take your health back into your own hands. That is the only thing that I've ever pledged from day one. You have the ability
Mhm.
to take your health. And I literally was talking to somebody today, and I said, I constantly say that this is the ability to take your health back in your own hands. And I think that 80% of the people who use cannabis, 80% of cannabis use is for psychological
Mhm.
aspects of it. Anxiety relief, depression relief, something to do with the fuck it alls. I call it fuck it all, but it's a comfort, it's an ease, it's a whatever.
Yeah.
That's all psychological help. And to take your psychology back into your hands with cannabis is also a beautiful fucking thing, right?
100%.
There's a lot of people who suffer from actual cognitive ailments
Yep.
and or just not being fully at the same rate that some other people are, and it doesn't mean you're anything wrong, right? But to have something to help boost your cognition and to give you literal grasp of it and to stop giving it away to everybody. Again, I'm not a health provider. Please speak with your health providers or whatever, but I do believe you have the ability to take some of this shit back into your hands, and I think cannabis is a great tool for it. Talk to me on Thursday nights,
Yep.
8 p.m. Peace, love, and coke. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Thank you.
Hey, YouTube comments from 2 weeks ago.
Hey,
Hey, Elisa said, thanks for answering my questions about my chronic pain relief. Going to try a few of the strains you mentioned, and hopefully one works for me.
hell yeah. If you have any more questions,
Yep.
Elisa, please continually ask. I will try my best to
And I ended up
assist.
talking to her student. Remember, her student was a viewer, and then turned her on to this.
Correct.
And like I talked to that person, and I'm going to meet that person this Sunday at the Urban Legends. I convinced them to enter their cannabis grow.
Awesome.
So I'm going to meet that person. So shout out to them as well.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see you at Urban Legends. I haven't forgot.
Very, very cool. Yeah, at least I can't tell you how much I appreciate you responding that way.
Yep.
Like I said, anything else you could ask questions about, I'm happy.
333 Grow, who I hung out with in Colorado at the Buildasoil Cup and the Go Cup. Him and his wife are super awesome. Keeping the seat warm. John Voight, it's a good seat. He says best one in the house.
You know?
Yeah, we had fun at out there. So
Yeah.
it was cool to hang out with him.
I've seen some pictures and I saw the homies and the gromies and the
we'll talk about it in a second. I want to ask you about Best in Grass because you were at Best in Grass.
Hey, I went there.
You did. You went there as part of your work group.
Can I precurse all of this to parking in the city sucks?
If you're not used to it, if you're not used to it,
I don't know shit. I mean, hey,
I know you don't go to this. I've been to the city a lot, so
that's
I like
too much concrete and steel.
I know. You're not a city guy. I know.
That was scary.
It is.
Bro, I pulled into a parking lot, paid $25 to sit in there for 20 seconds so that I could call somebody and go, there's no fucking way that you're here right now. And they were like, no. I'm like, well, I'm by a boat. They're like, well, no, we're not by boats. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. Well, anyway.
It's annoying. So you got to go to Best in Grass. I almost went, but
it was a very good time. I ran into some of my favorite people in the industry. But it was a really good time. The venue was okay. I never made it into the sesh bus. There was a lot going on there.
Sure.
But industry folk around industry folk is awesome.
It's beautiful, right?
Celebrating quality in cannabis is also something that I very, very much so appreciate. There was some highlights of things through that night that I was like, good on you for actually recognizing
absolutely
some of the people that aren't just the big players, right? Revolution swept most of the stuff, right?
But as expected, probably.
Very expected, but also in many ways very deserving, right? Rev has always made some very quality products. There is there are some things in the industry now that are coming up, though, and watch out for them. That right there is
Nez.
Nez is the one that
I like Nez. I've been on Nez for
I think that was for Cadillac Rainbows,
I
Indica
believe so.
Flower.
Yeah.
Fuck, that stuff is so
They won
so good.
took second
So good.
place. Took second place in hybrid too.
Yeah. And again, I think there's a lot of quality products that probably aren't mentioned on this list
Yeah, for sure.
that maybe they didn't enter the contest, or maybe I don't know how this contest works out, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good quality products I hope get mentioned in the future on this list, because with how diverse, right, the Illinois program is, we got all this
Mhm.
diversity.
Well, we were so
There's-
focused on the diversity.
Oh, and then all of a sudden you realize there's some hammers still, right? And
Yeah.
very respectfully so. Revolution, again, always does some very good stuff. You know, bigger names that can consistently produce are on that list as well.
Wow. Second place rosin vape winner Florical. Really?
Yep. Florical's actually got some really nice rosin vapes.
Okay. Okay.
I would genuinely tell you. They
Fair.
have a
that surprised me.
Red Pop
Okay.
is a
You know what?
strain.
You
that-
have talked to me about Red Pop.
I've had a buddy who just raved about it, and then I actually was hanging with another friend, and he said, "Oh, you tried these?" I said, "Oh no, I had
Was
another
that somebody
friend."
we were disking with that was raving about Red Pop, or was
No,
it
no,
you?
no, another employee, but
Okay.
and I saw one of my other friends, and he was like, "Oh, smoke this." I said, "What is that?" "Oh, it's a Red Pop, whatever from them." I was like, "Holy
From
shit, this
Florical,
actually
okay.
is fucking nice." Yeah, from Florical.
Okay.
Shout
Shout out Florical, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and
Shout
again,
out Uncle Arnie's for winning #1 syrups and beverages.
yeah, yeah, you know, again, they're good.
Yeah,
they
they're
are really
good.
good, and they smack.
They do smack.
Holy cow!
Christ, do they
but
smack.
so do Journeyman.
Yeah.
Who didn't get mentioned. So do these Keef Colas who didn't get mentioned. But they're new, right? Earn your stripes. Arnie's, I think, has just been around for in so
Yeah.
many other markets that bingo bango it hit there.
Yeah.
But you know, tonics are not on that list right now, which that was like the only option for a long time. And
Yeah.
then now
I heard there might be some new spices coming out on the industry that go real good on a Italian beef.
oh,
I heard
little
heard they're bringing it back.
Jardinera, it's
Yeah,
coming.
Jardinera
Watch out.
sauce, I
Little
hear.
Jardinera, little get you some. Yeah, coming out
True
with
story?
a
Yeah.
beef kit also. It's got like the beef seasoning. It's
Okay.
from JP Graziano's,
Okay.
which is like, I guess, a Chicago staple. I
Yeah.
don't know enough about the city. Again, you just heard me talk about that, but JP Graziano's, I guess, is like used to be like a grocery store.
Yeah.
Now it does a lot of like delis and sandwiches and stuff. And since COVID, they really have
Yeah.
been hammering sandwiches, and the Jardinera has been infused. I hear it's supposed to knock your socks. Actually, taste is fucking awesome. It was really, really good, actually.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Well, I went to the Build Soil Cup and
how was that?
dude, that was cool. It was real fun. Colorado's nice. I'm glad we got out of there before the snow.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
The whole Fox Valley Growers Club team went. Rochelle was there. Kris from Crop Culture was there.
Nice.
Charlie was there as well. Met up with a bunch of homies. El Canna Sewer, Cannerado Kris. The
Nice.
whole Build a Soil team. That was super fun just to like finally like hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
Cause I like see their YouTube a lot, interact with them a lot online, but like never got to actually like meet them. It was super cool. The panels were great. They did a growing like building healthy soil systems
Nice.
panel with 5 different people. There was growing for solventless rosin. So it was like things that you grow when you're growing for rosin, not growing for
Wow, see?
like actual flower.
I like that.
Yeah, it was really cool. There was some
Because you're getting higher terp
right.
production
Oh,
and
dude,
you're getting better. Oh my
offline. I
God,
want to
flavonoids and
off
shit.
video. Like, dude, I've got some ideas. Jen, the first woman to win a hash competition, back in like 2014 was there. She was on the panel.
Nice. Very cool.
Nick T, who is the DJ as well as like a hash dude, processor and grower. The Nick from Portal Provisions, Miles. It was dope.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Ended up at Miles' house. That was really cool. Got to go see Aw Kid, who is a dude who works at Buildasoil, also does genetics. Got to see his greenhouse. That was really freaking cool.
Dope.
Like it was all about the education for me.
Nice.
It was that was the number one. Like I got to enter my stuff. I didn't win, but shout out to Kris from Crop Culture.
Hell yeah.
Who got second place in flour.
Hell
Second
yeah.
place in flour was cereal milk, which is
Was that the stuff that you
Yes.
had? Oh my God. No shit. He
Yes.
won with that. That
Yes.
stuff was bang.
bonkers.
That was really, really
Gave
cool.
some of that to Ralph yesterday.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, Kris, that was impressive, sir.
Even better, and he's released it now. He dried it in 4 days.
Wow.
Herbs Now Dryer. Check it
Wow.
out. Crop Culture.
Wow.
Winter, Christmas. Get it now. Use the code 2DopeDudes. Comes with the Herbs Now Dryer.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Guys,
It's a winner. It's a winner.
4 days.
4 days. 4 days, and then had it in a jar for 6.
And then won the got second.
Got second place.
Hey,
in the Buildasoil.
first is the
Living
worst.
Soil Cup.
Second is the best.
Yep.
Third's that girl in the polka dot dress.
That's-
You remember chanting that shit at your boys back in the day?
Man,
We were hard, man.
I thought third was the worst.
Yeah. Hey.
I didn't hear nothing about no polka dot dress. That's crazy.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Let's get into some news. So this is
Oh, yeah, wow.
This came
That's
out-
the headline.
this came out in the Sun Times today and came out in MJ Biz Daily not long ago, on the 7th, which is a few days ago. Marijuana social equity transporters in Illinois file civil rights complaint.
Oof.
We've talked about transporters for a long time. I've had friends. I'm a little bit more into like what's going on. Dave's learned again since being back in a dispensary, some of the transporters and stuff. So a group of 7 independent marijuana social equity transporters in Illinois filed a civil rights complaint against the state's Department of Agriculture, alleging that the office discriminated against them when it issued licenses to medical cannabis cultivation centers. In a complaint filed in the 7th Judicial Circuit Court of Sangamon County, independent transporter licensees who don't own other cannabis business license types say they were supposed to be prioritized when Illinois launched its adult use marijuana program in 2020 with the goal of creating diversity, equity, and inclusion in the industry, said Amber Lengacher, founder and CEO of Colorado-based Purple Circle, and a consultant who has been working with the plaintiffs on a pro bono basis. But it says here the Illinois Department of Agriculture issues licenses that have established MMJ businesses that controlled at least 95% of the state's $1.5 billion adult use market in fiscal year 2023, Lengacher said.
Wait, I would like to hear this out,
yes.
yes.
By issuing transporter licenses to the established businesses, the Illinois Agriculture Department eliminated any reason those companies had to use third-party transporters, which we've talked about. I basically said that. The 7 transporter companies that filed the complaint are ACC of Illinois Transportation, Runway Logistics Services, Hands to Heart, Reliavan, Fade Express, Piff Patch, and Moedas Transports. Transporter companies collectively spent $826, $799 in license fees, agent identification card fees, and more, according to Illinois Cannabis Regulation Oversight Office's fiscal 2024 annual cannabis report, which was cited in the complaint.
Wow. So
Yeah. So A disparity study mandated by the CRTA and published in July evaluated the effectiveness of Illinois' marijuana program in combating past discriminatory practices and diversity in the industry. But when the study ended on January 1st, there was no active independent transporters, despite the recommendation that other cannabis operators be required to use third-party transporters for at least some of their transportation needs. Last year, the Illinois Independent Cannabis Transporters Association worked with state lawmakers to pass legislation that waived renewal fees for independent transporters for 3 years and placed a moratorium on additional transporter licenses. So what they're saying is that because the Illinois Department of Agriculture issued the MSOs quickie type licenses because of COVID, they basically already had their own vans, transporters, etc. And so when the state made them wait an additional year for all these other licensing types, there's no reason for the MSOs to use these. They're worthless licenses.
Well,
I've said that before. We've said that before.
The MSOs from the beginning of time
Yeah,
have had the ability to transport their product.
correct.
Um,
That's why I said these 300 licenses were worthless in the first place.
That's why I'm confused as to why they're saying that they issued licenses, but maybe, and again, I don't know the back end logistics, and I hear these transporters cries because just like we've talked about forever, I don't know how the fuck they're ever gonna make it. Right.
Right.
Like some of them will do fine because they get in right at the right times and there is plenty of workload. The problem is the regulation against it, them not having the ability to take the product that is. So if I reject something that came in, it was negatively brought in from the fucking cultivator 6 hours away because Illinois is a long ass state.
Right.
And I go, hey, I can't take that back. And you fucking live up here in the north.
Yeah.
And you started your day down there, brought everything up to the top. And I say, sorry, I got to reject it. They have to drive those fucking, even if it's one product, they have to drive that one fucking container
Mhm.
all the way the fuck back down the state and then all the way the fuck back home. And like, you're talking what, 12 more hours, 13 more hours for a crew that's
Yep.
already been working all fucking day. And now so there are just so many nightmare situations for some of these people. And again, so maybe there's enough licenses where you only stay in your certain area and do your certain thing, but then you don't have enough fucking work, right? Now you got to go down to the 6 hour away one. And I just feel bad for some of them because, but anyway, I thought it was more common knowledge that people knew that cannabis had been being transported from
Yeah.
for fucking ever.
But we're talking about legalized recreational marijuana in 2020.
Well, and that I understand.
Right.
So they thought that they were going to own all of the rights to transporting recreational
Right.
cannabis, period.
Well, the problem is with the state because the state issued social equity general cannabis business licenses for people of color so they could reap the profits of the now billion-dollar industry. But even if those licenses, they couldn't even start it. You know what I mean? This is a problem of the state. Places have already been transporting their stuff, like you've said,
From forever.
So why are we going to say, hey, we did this, and then JB is literally used that as like we've issued all these licenses and it's 68% women and minority owned.
Yeah,
and that's part of why we're so diverse and equitable in Illinois.
And you should look at the people
Right.
who are coming in
Right.
and going, I am getting fugged. It's like a double negative, right?
Yeah.
Because they said, stop letting the fucking big MSOs keep being big MSOs. And the way to stop doing that is to diversify by appeal, right? Not by skills or talents
Right.
or equitability, right? No, it's literally by different
Yeah.
you know,
It's just,
it's identity politics at its fucking finest. And now it looks weird because the double-edged sword is these people who are supposed to have opportunities at licenses have now paid a lot of fucking money to
Yeah.
own these licenses. They're not profiting, and
it
it's
says
only
here only 2 out of 55 minority and women-owned independent transporters are active in Illinois. And they're both plaintiffs in the suit. I know one of them's ACC Transportation, which is also Wake and Vape, for those of you paying attention.
yeah, I know exactly who they
Oh,
are.
I know you
I-
do. They're
I
right
know
down the
quite a
street
few-
from the house,
I
my
know
house.
quite a few of who all of these
I know
people
you do.
are, and I think that I understand why
Yeah.
they're going after the
Yeah,
things that
they
they're going
should.
after. I'm just telling you from the beginning, this whole entire program from top to bottom is
Right.
broken
They know that
against.
too, though.
It's broken against them succeeding.
They're playing the same game. You know, I'm not mad at them. Please highlight what the state's doing wrong.
Well, like
Please.
the only shitty thing too, and we're just talking about transporters right now.
Right.
The only shitty thing is the dispensary licenses and the craft grow licenses can be sold off, right? People buy them fucking things.
Dude, I know there's some for sale.
Infusion licenses might get sold off, right? Like that might be possible, but who the fuck wants to buy the transporter licenses?
Nobody.
No,
They're
fucking
worthless.
buddy. They're,
And that's why they're filing suit.
yeah. I've got transporter friends that I'm
Yeah.
hoping succeed.
Same.
And there are people trying to give them work, but again, like I just told you with the cost of everything now, how the fuck are they going to succeed? I just don't get it.
If you have a transporter license, I hope you have an infusion license
Minimum,
or something like
at
that.
minimum.
So that if you were smart, I would assume, this is just me, I don't know how it works, but if it was me, I would start to create my own products so I could transport my own products.
It's vertical, any level
Yeah.
of vertical integration where the more you can do and
Yeah.
the less you corner yourself into one like aspect of
Mhm.
business. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to be better, diversify, right? But like, yeah, I feel bad kind of, but I also had nothing to do with it, so
Yeah,
I don't
so-
really feel that bad. I just,
Illinois News Joint. Illinois appoints Medical Cannabis Advisory Board Chair and Vice Chair.
hey,
It's a good thing, supposedly. We've talked about this before. The office of the governor sent 2 letters to Alexei Julianis informing the Secretary of State that 2 new appointments have been designated to the Medical Cannabis Advisory Board. Governor J.B. Pritzker appointed a new chair and vice chair to MCAB for the Illinois Department of Public Health. We talked about this before. They still needed to do this. We had all those meetings last year, and then they said, hey, we don't even have a president or vice president yet, so we're going to do that next, and then we'll take it under advisement. One letter, Pritzker appointed current board member Dr.
Wow.
Leslie Mendoza Temple as chair, and another letter appointed current member Jim Champion as vice chair, 2 positions that had to be filed by law. Board chair is a position Temple is familiar with. She served as chair for Illinois' first Medical Cannabis Advisory Board. Champion served as a vet's rep for the first board and the current board. This appointment is the first time Champion has been appointed to a position on the board. I think
I know exactly who it is.
yeah, I think I know who Jim Champion is. I've seen him on the MCAM meetings.
Yeah,
He's generally with us.
him and his. Well, I know both of them.
Yeah. Excited to serve with esteemed co-chair and friend, retired veteran James Champion, Temple announced. Jim and Sandy Champion were instrumental in getting the original medical cannabis law passed with Rep. Lou Lang in Illinois through grassroots efforts. Hope we can keep improving this amazing but complex program for the state of Illinois. Couldn't be happier to serve with somebody of her integrity, organization, intelligence, Champion said. The previous board ran smoothly, and I expect nothing different at this time. Together, we're about okay. I don't believe that's the woman who said she saw herself as a gatekeeper. So if I'm wrong, then boo. If I'm
No,
right, then good.
Hey, I don't know that person at all. I just know the champions. So
Yeah.
good on them. Good for you, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully that means good things for the medical
Correct.
people, because I do know for a fact Jim and Sandy were very into the medical side of cannabis and its use as a medicine. And again, I know very much so for veterans, but also
Oh no,
plenty of other
yeah,
aspects.
no, it was Dr. Jane Nichols, an associate professor in the Rehab Counseling Administration program at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. She is the one who said she saw herself as a gatekeeper so that Illinois can be a leader in showing that every single thing that comes before the board is not approved. This is one I can't support. That's when she was talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yeah, like yeah,
She would like to be a gatekeeper, the
yeah.
university professor in
Yeah.
rehab counseling. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure I got that right. So the new chair is probably a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Dr. Jane Nichols, who should be booed.
Boo.
Boo. Anyway, sorry. That dude, when she said that, when I was on that meeting, I was beside myself. I was
I
angry
couldn't even
I was
imagine.
angry for weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Hey, Ohio, still doing stuff right.
Hey.
Retailers have sold more than $131 million worth of rec marijuana products since the market launch in August. Now, we just
For
talked.
you.
Yeah, we just talked about them last month, I think, where they were at like 74 million in 2 months, and they have a 10% across the
Damn.
board tax at the point of sale for every non-medical.
Damn.
Yep.
Holy fuck. Man, I'm
Yep.
gonna go check out Ohio.
Yeah. Anyway, they did good. Just want to shout them out real quick.
Congratulations. There, it sounds like some people are doing cannabis correct. And I don't, yeah, outside of the fucking taxation, there's a lot of good in
Yeah.
Illinois cannabis. Prices are compressing, not as much as we need them to, but the industry's not expanding either.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about this real quick.
well, let's do it.
I want to actually talk about this. Battle over Illinois hemp regulation heats up again.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So, on the heels of IDOA announcing a second notice for proposed amendments involving provisions to the Illinois Industrial Hemp Act that would regulate and redefine how THC and THCA levels are measured, essentially banning hemp and hemp products in Illinois, Rep. Sonia M. Harper introduced an alternative hemp regulation reform bill, House Bill 5903, that would also regulate hemp, but without altering the legal definition of hemp set forth in the Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018, which is more commonly known as the 2018 Farm Bill.
Yep.
The 28 Farm Bill defines hemp to mean the cannabis sativa L and any part of that plant, including the seeds thereof and all derivatives, extracts, cannabinoids, isomers, acids, salts, and salts of isomers, whether growing or not, with a delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol concentration of not more than 0.3% on a dry weight basis. Because delta-9 THC, A, does not convert into THC until combustion, delta-9 THC levels beneath the federal limit of 0.3% have been interpreted by the DEA as federally legal hemp. This legal interpretation has led to the creation of unlicensed THCA flower and gummies sold in stores online, it says. The Illinois Hemp Growers Association, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, they were holding their town hall on Friday. I know our friend Mr. CBD went. I know Cole from the Cole Memo went because I saw a video of them in the back of the Hempstock Farms van smoking THCA flower driving around Chicago like a
Nice.
couple of Cheech and Chongs. That's not racist. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
Cheech and Chong.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Supports HB 5903, a grassroots effort for a more sustainable and inclusive agricultural future in Illinois, says IHGA founder and CEO Rachel Berry. Also, they're the ones who put on the disc golf
Yep.
thing down in Princeton.
Yep.
Friends of us. We work closely with Rep. Sonia Harper, whose deep commitment to community AG and local food aligns with expanding opportunities for a truly equitable cannabis industry. HB 5309 will empower urban farmers, support small businesses, protect public safety, and position Illinois as a national leader. Let's see here. I want to see if they had the...
Yeah, but see, like, that's the other thing is that, like, so if, okay, talk about how it gets derived from THCA. I can't wait. Well, this
Well-
would be great for us when we talk about the cannabinoid of the
Right.
day
It's
here, because
actually-
it kind of leads
It's
right
leading into that.
and that's why if we're speaking on the synthesization of THCA or THC, we completely neglect the synthesization of CBD in that speech. And then for those who can synthesize CBD in the proper ways, um, and everybody says, like, I don't know, we'll talk about it. I'll let you go because I'm going to go way too much into what we're going to talk about later. So, yeah. But moral of this whole story, defining cannabis in its broken state at this point will take the top level of law, which is the interpretation of words, to interpret this thing correctly all the way down. And as of right now, um, it's not all there. And we're trying to go, okay, well, the best way to fix the whole problem is to say, well, let's just tackle THC or
Right.
THCA.
Right.
Well, now we're going to just do THCA because we know that if you can bust it, then it turns into THC. Well, do you understand about synthesizing other cannabinoids like CBD
Mm-hmm.
and what other cannabinoids are possible from it,
Mm-hmm.
including, anyway,
THCA, THCV.
many cannabinoids that are very effective at different levels of alleviation.
Sure.
There's this thing in this that, like, I think people want to just get rid of the intoxication part of it, which makes logical sense to this argument back and
Sure.
forth, but it's not that, right? On the surface we would all go, hey, they must just be arguing about the intoxication of things.
Yeah.
But because that's what on the surface it looks like, when you and I are breaking this apart, we understand that it's about way more than that, that you are misrepresenting the plant as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
which has led to it being synthesized in weird ways without regulation, which has allowed it to be grown in weird ways without regulation. And it's not that everything needs to have a goddamn regulation to it, but there should be a standard to things that aren't harmful to you, right? Like I mean, but this is going back to, like, all of our food is
Yeah.
broken, right? Like, we know food is broken,
That's
but we would have to strip all of that out of the food system.
yeah.
And how the fuck do you do that?
Grow your own.
Right? Well, and bingo, right? That's the whole thing, is like, how do we take this all the way back to a point where it's being represented correctly?
Yeah.
And
Is by, well, one of the things is by education. And that's, if you watch us, we try to discuss, if there's an overall theme that we have here of the things that Dave and I talk about, including trying to educate about what hemp is, what cannabis is, what is good, what is bad, what is this,
and for
cannabinoid, what is this flavonoid, what is, like, it's all the same, it's all one thing. And
for the people who
educational
are
help for sure.
For the people who have listened from forever, if I'm just
Yeah.
beating this dead horse and you're like, yeah, we already know, stop that.
Yeah.
Please let me know in the comments. But also, I have to keep talking about
Yeah.
it because there is somebody new who's
Yep.
listening to this episode
Yep.
that didn't listen the time before, that has to go, wait, why are they keep saying this shit? I'll go back and listen to a few more of them. There's a theme throughout all of what we've been talking
Yep.
about from the beginning, and that is to represent cannabis in the proper way,
Right.
so that you have the knowledge to take literally this tool
Mm-hmm.
and, ideally, from my perspective, take your health into your own
Yep.
hands. And from Aaron's perspective, economically provide yourself something better. I mean, just the benefit, medicinally provide
Yeah.
yourself better. Everything is just cleaner. There's so much benefit to growing for yourself that why aren't you doing that
Yeah.
too? I'm literally sitting here as somebody on the other side of this couch and I go, well, I don't grow,
Right.
but I still need to know what the product is.
Yep.
Have the best access to it, and then allow people to understand the truths of what is going on out there,
Yeah.
including, like,
Delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol. And just to add to that, as our friend Miles says, we appreciate that you listen to us, but it's your job to take the education that we give and to go be probiotic and to spread it out amongst yourselves too.
And
Talk about it. Talk about the knowledge that you learn. You have to, it has to spread outward like mycelium.
check me on what
Yeah,
I'm saying too.
for sure.
The stuff that I'm talking about in is mathematically typically and scientifically
Yeah.
provable. And it's not that I'm like trying to go, oh, well, every single time your direct instance of cancer is going to
Yep.
respond to that's fucking wild, right? But the general the general truths of cannabis are the general
All
truths.
right. I'm not going to have any music, and I'm probably never going to make like an intro screen for this. But hey, know your cannabinoids with Dave. Do 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 do.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm sure you can make a song if you really wanted to.
But
Here we go.
tetrahydrocannabinolic.
Delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinolic.
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yep.
Listen, here's the thing. Delta 8. Let's set it. Let's be honest.
Do you want me to read the first thing?
Sure. The biggest, yeah, because you're gonna nail
Yeah.
the biggest part right here. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to steal it from you. I just
No.
want to. Delta 8 is a psychoactive cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant. Delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol is a psychoactive cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant. Doesn't say hemp plant, does it?
No, because in the actual plant
Right.
there is D8. Right.
Right.
It really does show up in
Right.
cannabis.
It's an isomer of delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol.
Okay, so then do we understand? So, like, isomers are something that has been pulled out of
Right.
through a solution,
Right. It has
and a catalyst, right? I think it uses an acid. So
It
it
has
takes
an identical molecular formula.
100% identical to CBD.
Right.
D8 does, but so what they do is they add a solvent, an organic, very natural, everything is fine,
Mhm.
right? To CBD,
Mm-hmm.
99.9% pure by nature CBD isolate.
Mhm.
Okay, it is a chunky crystal. I mean, I say
a
chunky when it
Dragon Ball.
binds to
It's a
itself,
Dragon Ball.
but you also let it go like this and it becomes a fine dust, right?
Sure.
You can sprinkle it, but no, it's literally white dust.
Okay.
It is fucking chunky rocks of white dust, and it gets dropped into a solution. In that solution, they stir it up, and then it gets dissolved into the solution. Then they add an acid which separates and pulls it out and cleans it up and makes it so that we have only separated out what we want from it. Delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol. Delta 8 occurs in the same way that fucking D9 or that CBD does, right? There is a true natural trace to it, but we just wanted to synthesize, all right, isomerize, because it is an isomer. You literally have pulled only what you want from this
Right.
thing. And why wouldn't you just leave it CBD? Well, because we just said Delta 8 is a psychoactive cannabinoid.
Right.
It is something that gives a more immediate gratification. It is used for something different entirely than CBD is. I'm literally telling you, if you look up the two things, they have like the almost identical structure. I think it's like C21H30O2 or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know what it is, but that is D8 and CBD's fucking molecular structure. And you go, well, what does that even mean? Well, it's purely just a synthesized state of each other. And when captured in the right state of something, it has a different effect. It has a different bioavailability also. And D8 should be recognized. Now, how it got extracted, what it got extracted with, who extracted it, how many trace elements of other things that aren't pure D8, again, that's why some regulation in some of this thing matters to people. But if you were to give me pure Delta 8, even in a crystalline form, I don't know if you can crystallize this thing again or not. I've never seen it in that manner. I've always seen it in like like a distillate. But if it can, I don't know if you can make an isolate of it, but regardless
You
if it's a
might. I
distillate
don't
or
know.
an isolate, if it's a clean, pure form of Delta 8, there is nothing wrong with it. And not only is there nothing wrong with it, it has a ton of benefit even in the medicinal manner of things, where it is a bit psychoactive, but it's not a lot psychoactive.
Yeah, it's a little bit less. My experience and my understanding is that, like, scientifically, it is not. It is psychoactive, but it doesn't hit quite as hard.
So I've been, I've had like probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 different
Yeah,
Delta 8 products, most of them in vape cartridges.
sure.
Um, those have always been, it's such a hit or miss.
Yeah.
A few of them were headache machines.
Yep.
Who knows what's in them? A few of them were actually mildly intoxicating. And I
Yeah.
mean like mildly in the way that I'm like, as a THC consumer, I'm
yeah,
going, holy fuck, I feel this thing, right? And then a few of them were actually, I mean, they felt beneficial.
Yeah.
Alleviating of nausea. I
Mhm.
typically tend to have some level of nausea. I got bad acid. I got a bad, that's why y'all see me trying to sit up more sometimes and shit. That's because the esophagus and the acid, whatever, so it fucks up. And I stay more nauseous because of it.
Yeah.
So a little fucking cannabis helps me get through that. D8 has been very beneficial in the few instances that I went, oh, I'll try it for this
Yeah.
thing. The only thing is, I don't know at this point that I have a consistently clean access
That's.
to
I mean, that's always the problem, right?
it, but that's it with everything. But it's not just nausea, right? Like it is anxiety relieving. It is depression alleviating.
Yeah.
It does have some of those, it has pain relief
Yeah.
symptoms, right? Um so, or capabilities. So it's a multi-tool again, and that's the thing that you start to hear with some of these things. You go, well, wait, this one's good for nausea, that one's good for nausea, this one's good for nausea. Correct. There's 100 and something recognized cannabinoids, maybe.
Yeah.
Another 100 and something recognized terpenoids. Another 100 and some, maybe I think it's something like that, recognized flavonoids. It might be 70 or 80. I might be fucking shooting the coop.
I think there's more. I think they have a bunch of subcategories now.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is there is a bunch of different chemical and molecular structures that make up this plant.
Yeah.
We typically get away with the easy entourage effect, and we
Yeah.
just go, that's all. I'll just take a little bit of all of it and let it naturally regulate my system, which cannabis tends to be good at. But we see now in people the hyperemesis, right?
Yeah.
Too much THC. Maybe if you had D8, right,
Yeah.
instead of D9, maybe you have
Maybe
access
those
to
older
something.
people who are like, I don't like today's weed. It's too much. Well,
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah. That's who it's for. If you can get clean product.
And because we don't have access to cannabis of the past, because
Right.
we don't have access to the dirt the way that it was, the environment the way that it was, the water the way that it was,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? There's just that much evolution from then to now. The genetics aren't the same. Everything has been crossbred, whatever. There is a better chance because of the stuff that was measured, right? Having lower amounts of THC, that there was better abundances of excess cannabinoids as well. We do know that they weren't as good at producing cannabinoids on the plant to begin with, so the overall cannabinoid count on the plants were probably far less. The overall terpenoid count on the plant was probably far
Yeah.
less. Go look at an old High Times.
Yeah.
Look at this stringy, fucking leafy, larfy,
yeah.
fucking. No thanks, right? But then also, I said that like that just so aggressively because I'm so spoiled now with what I like.
Yeah.
If I went back to that stuff, didn't have anything that I like nowadays, and had that, I bet it would completely suffice
Yep.
for what I was looking for it to do.
100%.
And then not only that, what is it more beneficial in? Because does it have more Delta 8? Does it have more CBD occurring naturally? Does it have less THC,
Right.
which is this great intoxicant, right? But does it always need to be greatly intoxicating?
No,
Nah.
not for me at least. I actually don't like being super intoxicated. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
I like to just ease on into it and then just maintain.
And
It's great.
we're doing that with rosin products. We're
Yeah.
doing that with clean, concentrated, very potent at some point products,
Mhm.
but also using them properly enough to sustain psychological awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, I work every day as a consumer of cannabis,
Yeah.
and I don't think that I'm short of anything, right? So I just think,
Maybe a couple birdies.
I was fucking really short of a lot of birdies, dude. You know what happened? I came into work today and there was a little note. I just felt it in my pocket, but a customer brought these in. To be fair, everyone working got one, and so do you. It was a nice note that somebody gave me, but it is a 1 ounce copper round of some like cannabis, little pot, grass, weed,
Nice.
blunt, and then on this other side it shows like the medical little, the
Oh, that's
molecular
great.
structure
Yeah.
of the THC and the CB diesel. But yeah, I was like super pumped. There's a lot of good people in the
Yeah.
world, and I don't know. Cannabis, what a cool fucking culture, right? Like how neat that people just come up and give you shit
Yeah.
because they're like, "Hey, you enjoy the same things as
Yep.
me." I mean, literally, like I don't know. It's like you said, you were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, here, have this bud to one of our friends,"
Yeah.
and I promise you that I will hear about how great this bud is again.
No.
Because
But
the
that-
last time I heard about it too.
That's my favorite part is like giving friends presents because the look on their face is awesome.
And why it's
Right.
fucking weird that anybody
don't
would
gatekeep it.
that anybody in the world would stop you from gifting something that you grew at your house
Yeah.
that is non-harmful and is actually far more beneficial. It's crazy that somebody would consider
Hmm.
you a criminal. It's crazy that you have to even fucking skirt those thoughts in your mind. We need to revolutionize our thought process and
kidding.
get to the point where this cannabis stuff ain't that scary,
Right? Oh, it's only scary when you start losing money.
Yeah.
Tax revenue, rather.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, we love you all. Smoke weed every day. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, friends. Love you.
Peace.
Bye.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.